Hi, I'm Vickie Hall with Remax Masters Millennium, and I'm here in the Mount Albert recording studio at Remax Masters Millennium in Greenwood Village, and I'm a realtor that specializes in senior real estate needs. And in that process, I rub shoulders with a lot of other specialists that deal with senior needs. And I'm here with Kristina
Brinlinger. Yeah, you got it. Good job.
With Googie Down.
Googie Down Estate Liquidators and Appraisal Services.
I just love that name.
Yeah, well, Googie is a real word. It probably is the first question we get asked anytime I'm with a client or a presentation. It's a late 1930s Southern California term. It's used to describe mid-century modern roadside architecture. So we've had a lot of architect clients in our days who have never heard that, but if you all Google Googie, and then you can look at the images, you'll see renderings of Palm Springs architecture. It actually is derived from a restaurant called Googie's in Southern California that was open from 1930s to the 1990s. And so the diehard mid-century modern followers say Googie. So I grew up in a Googie house. My parents built their house in 1960. It still looks like a Googie house. And so as working professionals, when we decided to turn our hobby into a business as liquidators and appraisers, we just decided to pick something that was really special to us. So
And it's
Googie
memorable.
Down. So yeah.
The word is memorable.
It is. I do get called Google a lot.
Yes.
I have a lot of clients who are like, I Googled Google and I could not find you. So, but you're right. It's definitely is memorable. So yeah. Unusual, but memorable. Yeah.
And so Kristina and Mark own this business.
We are. Yes.
And tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes. So my husband and I, almost 9 years, we are a small business. So the epitome of small business here in Denver. It's me and my husband, and we're registered with the state. We carry business liability insurance, but we have about 18 years of experience. So prior to actually making this our business, we were working executives in financial services, and we lived in a very old neighborhood in Littleton, and we had a lot of our neighbors who are original, built their homes in the day, and they were in their 80s or 90s. So we just started helping them liquidate. We actually first got into this helping my husband's family downsize. They had to downsize very quickly after 45 years in their home. We were working executives. This is almost 19 years ago, and there wasn't a lot available resources back then, pretty limited. And so we were avid followers of estate sale companies. And so we had some of an idea of what to do. And that really just organically grew and grew until we became an estate liquidation and appraisal company. So yes, that's what we do. The bulk of our clients probably are what I consider, between the 65 to maybe around 90 years, folks who are probably on their final move. So they've lived, they've worked, they've accumulated most of the wealth they will in their lifetime. They're ready to downsize, sell their home. Maybe they're moving out of state.
Simplify their lives.
Very much so. It's time to let go. It's time to downsize, retirement community, kids, whatever it might be. But now they've gotten to the point, just like, my husband's parents, that it's time to get rid of all the stuff that they have accumulated. And then that's where we come in and step in and try to help them with that.
So it's difficult not only physically for the couple or single person, but also very much emotionally.
Very much so. Emotions is probably the number one. It's either emotions with the actual person downsizing or family. Children have a lot of emotions. So yes, emotions are very challenging because we live with our things. We love our things. We've purchased them. We've spent money on them. We've enjoyed them. We've inherited our parents' stuff, your grandparents, and maybe great-grandparents. So there's a tremendous amount of emotions that come with that. So in turn...
When I was doing a little bit of downsizing, I had my grandmother's tea set, silver tea set, and that was huge status symbol for her.
Right.
She was able to have a chest full of sterling silver and a tea set, and nobody was interested in it. People don't live that way anymore.
We don't, and that's a sign of changing times. It's just like decorating. farmhouse style, mid-century modern is just watch HGTV and you can see what's hot right now. And they're not putting sterling silver tea sets in the homes, right? And that's hard to hear sometimes.
It's very hard.
As liquidators, it's a frequent conversation of broaching the topic of the reality when you liquidate and you sell. And it's all based off current market demand. Who's buying what today to do what? Right? So we have a network of different buyers. You have people who are buying to put things in their home. I need to replace a couch. I'm going to go out and, buy it off online or go to an estate sale and buy it. And then you have a different network of people who are flippers, pickers, dealers, and resellers. And that's really what's fueling the liquidation market. So when we have a client going into starting to downsize and who will be liquidating, that's really the community that we're looking at. They're the buyers that are coming to an estate sale or to an online auction or to an estate buyout to buy the collectibles and to buy the furniture and other items that are there, because they're going to go back then and they're going to resell them in their antique shops, on eBay, on Marketplace, and that's their livelihood. So it's a great thing. We need those. You need those folks. When our clients are liquidating, they need buyers, and so when we look at a property, it's a repository of a lot of things.
Right.
The sterling
that they've
silver tea set.
accumulated for 70 years.
Yes, we have linens, clothing, collectibles, Christmas, furs, china,
China cabinets.
cleaning supplies. And so when you're selling and you're downsizing and you need to sell that, it is a repository of a lifetime of goods. And so really it all starts with, that downsizing process of when you meet with us, we come in, we do the assessment, and we make a recommendation based off, what is going to be for sale. And then we kind of put the client on a path of how to downsize, right? If someone...
Because it's overwhelming.
Yes, and we want you, the
People
first step
start
is...
thinking about this and they're going, that prevents people from doing anything because it's
It
so
inhibits.
overwhelming.
And naturally what everybody does, I do this, we all think about what I have to get rid of. Nobody starts with thinking about what I want to keep. We all naturally, everybody's like, I got to get rid of all this. And then the really main goal of when you're downsizing is what I want to take with me and where I'm going. So once you know where you're going and when that time frame, then you can start on the process of identifying the items that you want to keep, not what you need to get rid of, because that will naturally flush itself out on the back end through a liquidation sale, through a junk haul, clean out, whatever it might be. And so, that is really the key thing when you're downsizing is stay focused on where I'm going, when I'm going, and then start to focus on what I'm keeping. And that can be easily done. I encourage my clients not to wait till the last minute. Take advantage of time. So if you know that you're going to be downsizing in a year from now, start now.
Absolutely.
Start going through all of your contents to start to identify, these are the items that I want to keep and move. What are the items going to my children? What do my kids want? Get them involved now. Because I am one of those guilty children who have stored all of my childhood things that I never took from my parents' house. And so we need you to get those out.
Or say that it's okay to throw them around.
Or sell. Or whatever. Yeah. So, take advantage of time. We're in the summertime. Start to have a barbecue. Get the family and friends over. Start to identify all those. And then build boxes and give them to them and put them in their trunk. So it's one stage to identify. The next stage is to get it out of the house. Because what we all don't want, you and I as providers for a senior, we don't want that to happen at the last minute and cause unnecessary chaos.
It would be so stressful.
No. So take advantage of time. Figure out what you want. Take advantage of time. Start that downsizing process right now. Now, when you meet with an estate liquidator and they make a recommendation on doing a liquidation, because it's both financially efficient for you, you're going to have financial gain, and you're also going to sell a large majority of the stuff. Those are the two considerations we look at, the quality and quantity. If that's the most effective and efficient way, then the client's prepared. I know all these items are going to be for sale. I don't have to do anything with anything else in my house. All I need to do is hire a mover, pack, and move to the location that I'm going to. And then we come in and take over from there. Full turnkey solution. If it's an on-site estate sale, if it's an online auction, if it's a dealer buyout, an estate liquidator comes in, manages the process from A to Z. The client is not involved. All as they do is receive a proceeds check after typically a 2-week process. The property's cleaned out and ready for you to take over and get it on the market.
So
Very
most of the
streamlined.
time, the sellers are not there. They've
No,
already moved.
they have. Yes. Now, in situations in which a client has to be living in the home until closing, we can manage that with, sometimes there's a leaseback situation where someone
Yes.
can have extended time. Yes, then they can move out and then we can come in. But when there are situations in which a client can't move out, they don't want to move out, then we work around that and we design a liquidation process that will suit their needs and the situation. Because that's really what we're doing. We want to provide full liquidation support that's very effective, efficient, also working around with the
Their
conditions
needs.
of their needs, their time frame, their privacy, gated, community, whatever that might be. So really downsizing and liquidation does go hand in hand. You're downsizing to the point where you're going to secure just the small amount of items that you're taking with you to your new home. And then you're going to hire a liquidator to come in and sell, liquidate, dispose of the rest of the contents on the back end. So that's really what downsizing and liquidation is. There's several liquidation options that a client can choose from. On-site in their home, that's called an estate sale. We can do an online auction where things are actually sold online, simple as it is. An estate buyout is which we come in and the items, we really focus on the items that have perceived value, and then those are just purchased in a lump sum, and we help coordinate for the rest of those to be discarded on the back end and repurposed. There's situations in which a client just may need charity donation or trash removal. There may not be a lot of value in there. There may not be a lot of time to allow for an estate liquidation of some kind. Then we help the client hand in hand coordinate that process for them. So yes, it's very turnkey. They don't need to be involved at all. We want them to focus on the priority, themselves and them moving to their new location.
So that helps the senior be less overwhelmed.
Less overwhelmed and also educated.
Yeah.
The liquidators are going to come in and we're going to educate the client, like you said, the emotions behind the items. The reality is your sterling tea set really isn't sterling. Maybe it's silver plate. And then if it's true sterling, then we talk about, okay, here's the real value, the melt value of it. Or perhaps it has even more collectability and value than the melt value. Or maybe what they thought wasn't silver plate is sterling, and we educate them where the sterling marks is, all the different marks from the different countries. Yes, but in general, we give a recommended liquidation on both the quality and quantity that's in someone's home, and then make, hey, this is what we think is the most appropriate liquidation method, and then we let them make a decision if that's going to be the right choice for them. Yes.
So, Kristina, if someone is starting this process and they're feeling overwhelmed, how do they get hold of you to get a consultation with you?
Yes, they can go to our website. It's Googie, GOOGIEDOWN.com. And then they can find our contact information. You can email us or call. You can call. You can text. Texting's great, in this new reality of communication, digital communication. And then it just starts with a phone conversation, finding out the situation, all of those. Where are you going? When are you moving? What's the situation? And then we schedule an on-site consultation. And then from there, we get the ball rolling. Try to get them all the information we can so they're prepared and well-informed and armed to start the downsizing and liquidation process.
Well, thank you very much, Kristina, for coming. I'm Vickie Hall with RE/MAX Masters Millennium, and stay tuned. We'll have another video for you to take a look at. Thank you.
Thank you.